I need to tell you about a trap. A trap that most of you are already in, whether you know it or not. It's called being too good at your job. And I'm going to explain why it's one of the most dangerous positions you can be in. 7 years. I spent 7 years at one company. 7 years where I showed up before anyone else and left after everyone else. 7 years where people literally depended on me to solve their problems. I was the person managers called when things broke. I was the person colleagues asked when they didn't know what to do. I was valuable. So valuable, in fact, that I became invisible. And nobody talks about what that invisibility does to you. When you're the person everyone relies on, you start to think that's your identity. You start to think that's your value. You start to think that being needed is the same thing as being seen. But it's not. Here's what nobody tells you about being the person everyone relies on. They will never promote you. Why? Because promoting you means replacing you. And replacing you is expensive. It's difficult. It disrupts the whole system. So instead, they do something smarter. They tell you how valuable you are. They tell you how much they need you. They make you feel essential. And in exchange, they keep you exactly where you are. Forever. I watched this happen to me for 7 years. Year 1, I thought a promotion was coming. I was the top performer. It had to be coming. Year 2, still nothing. But they gave me more responsibility, more projects, more people relying on me, more promises that didn't materialize. Year 3, a colleague, someone I'd trained, someone I'd mentored, got promoted instead. I remember that day clearly. I asked my manager why. His answer was the same vague non-answer I'd get for the next 4 years. You're too valuable in your current role. We need you here right now. What he really meant was, if we promote you, we'd have to actually do the work of replacing you. And we don't want to do that work. So we're going to tell you it's because you're valuable and hope you stay quiet about it. I did stay quiet. That's the thing about this trap. It's so comfortable. You feel needed. You feel important. You're making good money. You have job security. So even when you're stuck, you don't fight it. You just accept it. Quietly. You tell yourself the promotion will come eventually. You tell yourself you're building something. You tell yourself it's okay to stay where you are. You tell yourself a lot of things. But deep down, you know. Deep down, you know something is wrong. But here's what staying quiet actually does to you. It destroys your belief in yourself. Slowly, quietly, like erosion. By year 5, I realized I hadn't thought about moving up in months. I'd stopped believing it was possible. More than that, I'd stopped believing I deserved it. My job title was middle management. Middle. Stuck. In the middle. So I started to believe I was middle. Average. Ordinary. Mediocre. The kind of person who stays in the same role for 7 years because that's where they belong. I started to believe that my ceiling was my business card, and my floor was even lower. I remember one day, I was at my desk, staring at my screen, and I had this moment of clarity. I realized I couldn't remember the last time I felt proud of anything I'd accomplished. The work was good. I was doing it well. But I didn't feel proud because I didn't believe in myself anymore. I believed my business card. I believed the title on my email signature. I believed that if I was really good enough, I would have been promoted by now. And that belief became my reality. And that belief, that quiet, persistent belief that I wasn't good enough, it spread into everything. My personal life, my relationships, how I saw myself in the mirror, how I talked to my family. I became smaller, quieter, less. I stopped fighting for myself. I stopped believing I deserved more. I just accepted what I was told. You're valuable right here. You belong here. This is where you're supposed to be. And the scariest part, I started to believe it. The thing about quiet resignation is that it doesn't feel like failure. It feels like acceptance. It feels like being realistic. It feels like knowing your place. It feels like peace. But it's not acceptance. It's self-betrayal. It's you giving up on yourself so quietly that nobody even notices. Until the moment they do. I was in a meeting, a routine quarterly review, and my manager said something that made me freeze. He said, "We need to figure out how to retain you in your current role because we know you're looking elsewhere." And in that moment, I realized everything. He could see it. He could see that I was fading, that I'd become a ghost in my own career, that I was disappearing. And suddenly, for the first time in years, he cared. Suddenly, my value mattered. Suddenly, he wanted to fight for me. But here's the sick part. He only noticed when I was about to leave. He only fought for me when there was a threat of losing me. All those years of being too valuable to promote. I was only too valuable because I was trapped. The second I stopped being trapped, the second I started looking elsewhere, suddenly I was worth fighting for. That's when I understood the real game. Companies don't want you to grow. They want you to stay exactly where you are, being exactly as valuable as you are right now, for as long as possible. It's not personal. It's just business. Your growth threatens their stability. Your ambition threatens their comfort. So, they manage you with words. They tell you you're valuable. They tell you you're needed. And they keep you exactly where you are. So, I did something radical. I sat down and made a list. Everything I'd accomplished in 7 years. Every project I'd led. Every crisis I'd solved. Every person I'd helped succeed. Every time I'd gone above and beyond. And when I looked at that list, really looked at it, I saw someone I didn't recognize. I saw someone who was valuable, someone who was absolutely worth promoting, someone whose worth had never actually changed. It was just my belief in myself that had faded. That's when I realized the most important truth. Your value is not determined by your job title. Your value is not determined by whether someone promotes you. Your value is determined by what you do, who you help, and the difference you make. And nobody needs your permission to see that. You need to see it first. Because here's what happens if you don't. The story you tell yourself becomes the story everyone else believes. If you believe you're not good enough for a promotion, eventually everyone around you will believe it too. If you accept that your job title defines your worth, everyone else will too. Your own belief in yourself is contagious. People can feel it. They respond to it. And if you've given up on yourself, they will too. I spent 5 years giving up on myself. 5 years of quiet resignation. 5 years of telling myself that middle management was my ceiling. 5 years of accepting less than I deserved because the alternative, fighting for myself, demanding more, risking rejection, felt too scary. But you know what's scarier? Wasting years of your life because you didn't believe you deserved better. Wasting potential, wasting time, wasting yourself. So let me tell you what I wish I'd known. If you're stuck in a role where your value is being exploited, that's not a reflection of your worth. That's a reflection of the system. Companies are designed to exploit your value. Your job is to refuse to let them. If you're not being valued, you have two choices. Either demand that they value you, specifically with a timeline, with evidence of your worth, or go somewhere that will. But whatever you do, don't do what I did. Don't stay quiet. Don't accept the fade. Don't let your job title become your identity. Because the moment you do, you start believing it. And your own belief becomes the only ceiling you can't break through. You're worth more than your business card. You're worth more than their refusal to see it. You are worth more than their comfort with the status quo. And if they don't see that, that's their problem, not yours. The real tragedy of quiet resignation isn't that others don't see your value. The real tragedy is that you stop seeing it yourself. Don't let that be you. Don't let your job title write your story. Fight for yourself, because you're the only one who will.